Your kind words. Appreciate it. So, Hare Krishna, everyone. Very happy to be with you on a Monday morning. Thank you for making the time. It's such a busy time of the week, the most busiest time. A few days ago, I was speaking to one Grihasta and I said, I think it was last week on Monday morning, I said, can we quickly schedule a meeting? He said, what time? I said, 8 o'clock. He said, that's Kurukshetra time. I said, Monday morning in the home at 8 o'clock is Kurukshetra. Everyone is like, oh, it's chaos. So I really appreciate all of you coming here, taking the time. I hope you won't be disappointed. And it's interesting because, like we came in and the world is moving, isn't it? Like Monday morning, it's like everyone, passion. And then here we are just sitting, listening to Bhagavatam, and someone may think, come on, there are things to do in life, It's funny, once someone came to the Buddha was meditating many hours at a stretch, and then the person said, what do you get out of meditating? And Buddha looked back at the person and he said, I don't get anything from meditating. He said, but you're sitting here for hours meditating. Buddha said, I don't get anything from meditating. So the person looked at him and said, so why are you spending so many hours here meditating? The Buddha said, because I lose many things by meditating. I lose my stress, I lose my anger, I lose my illusion and ignorance, and I lose all my material attachments. And then I actually become free to live life in the most beautiful way. So sometimes you have to think about Bhagavatam. Sometimes people think, what are you getting out of this? What are you getting out of this? But actually, Bhagavatam is helping us to lose many things. This is called destructive enlightenment. You become enlightened not by getting something new, but you become enlightened by destroying what is not you. Lust, anger, greed, envy, all of these things actually block us from living a purposeful life. And so it's wise. Sometimes people think, you guys, you Hare Krishnas, you just sit around praying all day, sitting around chanting. Of course, that's not all we do. But you can think of it like a cow. I don't know if you've ever been, you have a farm here? Anyway, you've all seen cows. So if you look at cows, they don't seem to do much throughout the day. They're very slow, they're very relaxed. The only part of their body that's moving is their mouth. Can you guys do something practical? But the amazing thing is that the cows, the only part of their body that's moving is their mouth. But what are they doing? They're chewing grass. And by chewing that grass again and again and again, they're actually able to give the most beautiful thing to the world, milk, which is nourishing everyone. So the saintly people, sometimes people think, why don't you guys just sit around praying all day? What are you doing? Do something practical for the world. But the idea is that if you churn, hear the Bhagavatam, Muhoraho, Rasika, Bhuvi, Bhavuka, Sukadev says, you must learn to relish. If you just sit and chant the holy name deeply, then actually you can give the best thing to the world. It's said that Jagannath Das Babaji, Gaurkishore Das Babaji, his chanting was so powerful that by the potency of his chanting, he was holding off the effects of Kali Yuga. That's amazing. If someone chants with such purity, it can have a global effect. And we know that. Srila Prabhupada came to Tompkins Square Park. You all are right here in the place. And Prabhupada just chanted underneath that tree with a bongo drum. If you go to New Vrindavan, some of you must have been, you can see the original bongo drum. Yeah? You know what a bongo drum is? You don't know what a bongo drum is? It's a small drum, and Prabhupada was banging on this drum and chanting because he didn't even have a mridanga or kartals. But Prabhupada, when you see that video, isn't it? When he's chanting in tongue, he's just, his eyes are closed. And Prabhupada is just chanting Krishna's names with such purity. And just because of that kirtan, the whole Hare Krishna movement has spread across the world. That's the purity. So today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam about the glories of hearing Bhagavatam. And this verse that we're reading today is a very, very famous verse. In fact, this is a very famous chapter of the Bhagavatam, the second chapter, called Divinity and Divine Service. But this verse is interesting because Srila Prabhupada actually quoted this verse when he came to America. When Prabhupada came to America, then Srila Prabhupada wrote a poem called Markine Bhagavad Dharma. And that poem is very beautiful. In the first line he says, Boro Kripa Koile Krishna Adhame Prati Ki Yogi Yonila Heta Koroe Bhagati. He says, Krishna, you are very kind, you are very merciful upon me, this fallen soul, but I don't know why you've brought me to this terrible place. And then Srila Prabhupada says, Rajastama Guna Era Sabayaya Chan Vasudeva Katha Ruchi Nahese Prasan. He said, Prabhupada says, I'm looking around at all of the people here. Rajastama Guna Era, and they're completely covered by the material modes of passion and ignorance. Vasudeva Katha Ruchi Nahese Prasan. They have no taste. They have no desire, they have no inclination to hear the message of Krishna. And then Prabhupada goes on and he says, now Krishna, please make my words suitable for their understanding so that I can inspire them to hear the message of Krishna. And then in the poem, after making these prayers, Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse. So this is a very, very important verse from the second chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, text number 17. So please repeat after me. Shrinvatam Sakatha Krishna Shravana Kirtana Yandasto Hiyapadrani Vidunoti Suritsatam Shrimvatam Sakatha Krishna Shravana Kirtana Vidyantasto Hiyapadrani Vidunoti Suritsatam Shrimvatam Sakatha Krishna Shravana Kirtana Vidyantasto Hiyapadrani Vidunoti Suritsatam. If anyone would like to try.
Shrimvatam Swagata Krishna
Shrimvatam Swagata Krishna
Punya Sravana Kirtana
Punya Sravana Kirtana
Yantasto Hyabhadrani
Vidyantasto Hiyapadrani
Vidunoti Sunursata
Vidunoti Suritsatam
Shrunnanatam Sakata Krishna
Shrimvatam Swagata Krishna
Punya Sravana Kirtana
Punya Sravana Kirtana
Yantasto Habhadrani
Vidyantasto Hiyapadrani
Vidinoti Sukhsatam
Vidunoti Suritsatam.
Mataji's.
Shrimvatam Swagata Krishna
Shrimvatam Swagata Krishna
Punya Shravana Kirtana
Punya Shravana Kirtana
Hidayanta Stohi Abhadrani
Vidyanasturiya Pradani
Vidunoti Shrusatam
Vidunoti Shrusatam
Srivatam Samata Krishna
Srimata Samata Krishna
Punya Shravana Kirtana
Punya Shravana Kirtana
Anatasto He Abhadrani
Vidyanasturiya Pradani
Vidunoti Shrusatam
Vidunoti Shrusatam
Thank you so much. Shrinvatam.
Shrinvatam.
Those who have developed
Those who have developed
the urge to hear
the urge to hear
the message of
the message of
Swakatam,
Swakata,
his own words,
His own words,
Krishna,
Krishna,
the personality of Godhead,
the personality of Godhead,
Punya,
Punya,
virtue,
virtue,
Shravana,
Shravana,
hearing,
hearing,
Kirtana,
Kirtana,
chanting,
chanting,
Vidyantasta,
Vidyantasta,
within one's heart,
within one's heart,
he certainly, Abhadrani,
Abhadrani,
desire to enjoy matter,
desire to enjoy matter,
Vidunoti, cleanses, Surit, benefactor, Satam, of the truthful, Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Translation. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma Super Soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Purport. Messages of the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna are non-different from him. Whenever therefore offenseless hearing and glorification of God are undertaken, it is to be understood that Lord Krishna is present there in the form of transcendental sound, which is as powerful as the Lord personally. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshashtaka declares clearly that the holy name of the Lord has all the potencies of the Lord, and that He has endowed His innumerable names with the same potency. There is no rigid fixture of time. Monday morning is also good. And anyone can chant the holy name with attention and reverence at his convenience. The Lord is so kind to us that He can be present before us personally in the form of transcendental sound, but unfortunately we have no taste for hearing and glorifying the Lord's name and activities. We have already discussed developing a taste for hearing and chanting the holy sound. It is done through the medium of service to the pure devotee of the Lord. The Lord is reciprocally respondent to His devotees when He sees that a devotee is completely sincere in getting admittance to the transcendental service of the Lord and has thus become eager to hear about Him. The Lord acts from within the devotee in such a way that the devotee may easily go back to Him. The Lord is more anxious to take us back to His kingdom than we can desire. Most of us do not desire at all to go back to Godhead. Only a very few men want to go back to Godhead. Do you want to go back to Godhead?
Yes.
You are in the elite. But anyone who desires to go back to Godhead, Sri Krishna helps in all respects. One cannot enter the kingdom of God unless one is perfectly clear of all sins. The material sins are products of our desires to lord it over material nature. It is very difficult to get rid of such desires. Women and wealth are very difficult problems for the devotee making progress on the path back to Godhead, and men for women. Equally difficult. Many stalwarts in the devotional line fell victim to these allurements and thus retreated from the path of liberation. But when one is helped by the Lord Himself, the whole process becomes as easy as anything by the divine grace of the Lord. Okay, let me just stop there because it's a lot of information. Sometimes we have to read and then we have to digest. Did you know there's two ways that you can get blinded? One is when all of the lights go out. You get blinded. But the other way you get blinded is when all the light comes in one go and there's so much light that you can't see anything, isn't it? Therefore, we have to also ensure that whatever information we get, we're digesting it. So here Krishna says, Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Jai Shri Gaura Nitai ki.
Jai.
Krishna is saying, Abhadrani. Bhadra means something very good, very fortunate, very auspicious. Unfortunately, in our heart we have abhadrani. We have many unfavorable things. Actually, we are our own worst enemy. We have many, many desires, and these desires actually get us into trouble. Have you noticed how your material desires get you into trouble? No? It's only me?
Yeah.
Once there was a husband and wife and they were married for 50 years. So they were both 70 by this time. So the genie came to them and said, it's your golden anniversary, congratulations. Now you can have any wish you desire. So the lady said, no, I'm happy. You have given me more than I could deserve in my life. The man said, I am happy, but I have one. If you're offering, then I'll ask for one thing. I wish that my wife was 20 years younger than me. The genie said, are you sure? He said, yes. Boom. Immediately the man became 90. There must be some mistake here. No, you asked for it. No, I meant something else. No, I'm just fulfilling your desire only. This is what actually happens. We have material desires. We think if I get this, this and this, if I achieve that, that and that, and if I get here, there and everywhere, then I'll be happy. And oftentimes our own material desires get us into problems because we realize it's not as good as we thought it would be. And not only that, it's actually bringing me far more problems than I had in the first place. Krishna, can I go back to how I was? So therefore Krishna says, Abhadrani. In our hearts we have the wrong desires. Therefore when Prahlad Maharaj was asked by Nrsingadev, do you want any benediction? He didn't ask, can my wife be 20 years old? He was only 5 years old anyway, he wouldn't have asked that. What was his prayer? Yadidasyasi me kaman vadanscha vadadarshava kamanam vidya samroham bhavatastu vrime vadam. Nrsingadev, you want to give me a benediction? Please give me the benediction, Kamanam Ritya Samroham, that all the material desires in my heart will vanish. Tomorrow, if all the material desires in our heart would vanish, we would be so blissful. We'd be so happy. The very things that we seek so frantically in this world are the very things which bring us so much pain. Krishna says in the Gita, Yehi samsparsha ja bhoga dukkha yona eva de. Yoni is an interesting word. Yoni means, like you see a Shiva Linga, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've seen Shiva Linga, no?
Yeah.
So whenever there is a Shiva Linga, there is also a Yoni. Yoni means the womb. Womb, isn't it? Like a child is conceived within the womb, isn't it? And therefore, Krishna says, Sukha, or material pleasure, is the Dukkha Yoni. Dukkha is like an embryo, and where does that embryo, where is it born? Within the womb. And what is the womb? Sukha only. So the more you're getting Sukha, material pleasure, know for sure that Dukkha is waiting to be born only from that Sukha. Because you can't have one without the other. Just like, remember years ago they used to have cassette tapes. So there was an A side and a B side. And the A side had the song that you really wanted. And the B side had some junk song that you weren't interested in. But you have to take it. You can't say, I only want the A side, I don't want the B side. No, no, it comes as one cassette. Therefore it comes together. Therefore Krishna says the main problem in the world is that we have material desires. This is the number one project which keeps people busy and which keeps people miserable. Material desires are so powerful that you can never win the game and you can never give up the game either. This is material desires. You can't win and you can't give up. And therefore, life after life, we're perpetually Mrityu samsara vartmani, Krishna says, trying to pursue something, pointless task. But how do we get rid of it? It's so hard. Because even after Krishna consciousness, even after chanting for a long time, we still feel, my God, still so many desires in the heart. Mahaprabhu is saying, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. And in our mind we are saying, more dhanam, more janam. So here Krishna gives the clue how you can cleanse your heart. And Krishna says, basically, you can't do it, but I can do it. Because I'm in your heart as the Paramatma. And if you develop the urge to hear Hari Kirtan and Hari Katha, then by hearing, actually I in your heart will begin to cleanse your heart of all these material desires, and then you will be free. You won't be imprisoned by these material desires anymore. So, Srila Prabhupada, amongst all of the things that he did, perhaps his greatest project was that he wanted to give Srimad Bhagavatam to the world. He worked on this project from day one till the final day. He worked on this project every single day. He worked on this project in the most valuable hours of the day, the early morning. And therefore we can say that translating Srimad Bhagavatam was Srila Prabhupada's greatest project. So therefore, we must take advantage of it by hearing Bhagavatam. Sometimes we feel, what will happen if I hear Bhagavatam? Two amazing things will happen if you hear Srimad Bhagavatam attentively. I'll tell you a story. Once there was a monk, or not a monk, there was a young man and he wanted to become a monk. This is not my story, by the way. There was a young man and he wanted to become a monk. So he came to the monastery and there was one abbot. Abbot means in charge of all the monks. So the young man said, I want to become a monk. So the abbot said, yes, you can become a monk, but first you have to play a chess match. Do you play chess? He said, I know a little bit of chess, yeah, why not? The abbot said, if you play this match, after this match you can join the monastery, no problem. So he said, today you will be playing a chess match against our oldest monk in the monastery. So they sat on a table like this, The old monk was there, the aspiring monk was here, and the chess set was laid out. And just as they were about to start the chess game, the abbot said to the young monk, but there's one rule in this game. If he wins, I cut your head off. And if you win, I cut his head off. My God. Now the stakes were even higher. It wasn't just about joining the monastery, it was about maintaining your life. So they started playing. The moves were going on. This young man started sweating because he realized my life is dependent on this. So he was very, very nervous, and then he started making the wrong moves, and the older monk was getting the upper hand, and the young monk felt, my God, this is the end of the road. I'm going to die. And realizing he was about to die, the young monk said, focus, concentrate. And so he started concentrating, realizing this is a desperate situation. And by concentrating, he started playing the right moves. And then eventually he got the upper hand in the game. And then he was a few moves away from checkmate. And he looked across. And in that moment, he saw the old monk. And the old monk was sweating. Because the old monk knew, if I lose, I die. And in that moment, the young monk was feeling, how can I let this old monk die? He's given his whole life to God. He's sacrificed everything, and now he's going to die. And therefore, the young monk started making the wrong moves because he felt compassion for the other person, and he was about to sacrifice his own life. And then there was one more move that the old monk had to do to checkmate him. The old monk picked up the piece. He was about to move it. And this abbot came with a sword. And he brought the sword down and he hit the sword on the chessboard. And both of them were shocked. And the abbot said, he looked at the young monk and he said, now you are qualified to join the monastery. Because you've learned two qualities. How to have a strong mind and how to have a soft heart. No one can join the monastery unless they have a strong mind and unless they have a soft heart. So, we don't do this in the Hare Krishna movement, don't worry. But it's a very powerful story. If you want to be successful in life, you need to have a strong mind, but also a soft heart. Most people in the world have a weak mind and a hard heart. And therefore, they cannot experience the beauty of life. So, why am I telling you this story? Because if you want to develop a strong mind and a soft heart, Srimad Bhagavatam is the literature which can help you to do that. We need a strong mind because this world is so unpredictable. This world is full of so many difficulties, obstacles. This world is full of so many shocking things that happen to us. Sometimes this world, we become so frustrated. Therefore, when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, then it helps us to have a strong mind. It helps us to ensure we don't become bewildered by all of the ups and downs and the roller coaster of life. Because you can't change the world. The world is full of problems. It's the way the world is wired. You can't change it. But what you can do is develop a strong mind. Parikshit was absorbed in Bhagavatam, and therefore, although he knew he only had 7 days left to live, because he had such a strong mind, by being absorbed in Bhagavatam, he felt no fear whatsoever. Chitraketu was plunged into distress because his only son who he had waited for thousands and thousands of years, that son died. For a parent to see their child die is such an unnatural thing, it's so painful. Chitraketu, when he heard the Bhagavatam, his mind was strengthened and he regained the strength to continue on in life. Therefore, the Bhagavatam helps you to have a strong mind. Otherwise, what you find in today's day and age is people just break down. They just mentally break down because life is just too shocking. They can't handle it anymore. Therefore, in America, 1 in 3 people go to a psychiatrist because no strong mind, no ability to deal with life. So Bhagavatam and the philosophy of Bhagavatam helps you to have a strong mind. But the other thing that Bhagavatam helps you to do is have a soft heart. Because a strong mind won't bring you happiness. A strong mind will protect you against distress. But a strong mind won't bring you happiness. To bring happiness, you have to have love in your life. And in order to learn how to love, you have to have a soft heart. You can't love anyone if you have a hard heart. Hard heart means you're impersonal. Hard heart means you're insensitive. Hard heart means you don't know how to express your emotions. Hard heart means you can't learn to understand other people's emotions. These are all the characteristics of a hard-hearted person. So therefore, the Bhagavatam teaches us how to have a soft heart. And Krishna says, I cleanse your heart. And Krishna, by his presence in our life, in the form of sound vibration, our heart becomes very, very soft. So like this, the Bhagavatam is actually giving us the 2 greatest things we require in our life: a strong mind and a soft heart. And without these 2 things, there's no life. You can achieve so many things, you can do so many things, but if you don't have these 2 things, there will be no rasa in life. There will be no happiness in that sense. So, let us take the time to read Bhagavatam. It's not always easy to read Bhagavatam. Is it easy? It's hard sometimes. Number 1, you have to find time. And then once you find time, you have to be sufficiently mentally peaceful to concentrate, because so many things are going through the mind. And then even if you have the time and you have the mental peace to understand it, the next problem is we don't have the intelligence to figure it all out, because it's too complicated sometimes for us. So sometimes people feel it's not for me, I can't read Bhagavatam, it's too difficult. But actually, Bhagavatam is Krishna. Krishna tulya bhagavata vibhu sarvashrai prati shloke prati akshare nane arthakai. Krishna tulya bhagavata. Krishna and Srimad Bhagavatam tulya. Non-different, completely the same. Vibhu sarvashrai, both of them are unlimited. So Krishna is Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is for everyone. Bhagavatam is all attractive. Bhagavatam is able to reciprocate with us. And therefore, if you give it time, if you hear in the association of others, if you're patient, and if you give it your attention, then slowly by reading Bhagavatam, you will experience a transformation in your heart. And therefore, this is the verse that Prabhupada quoted. He prayed to Krishna when he arrived in New York, that Krishna, please allow me to share with people the Srimad Bhagavatam in the way that they will be able to understand it. Because if they get the taste for hearing Bhagavatam, then their life will be glorious. So please take time to hear Bhagavatam. And in this way, you will have a strong mind and a soft heart. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right, let me stop here. It's 8:45, 8:50 nearly. So shall we take some questions if you have? Okay, if you have any questions, I see. Okay, 3 hands or 4 hands. Okay. So is there a mic?
Yes,
Or
yes,
will
yes.
you- Yes.
Hare Krishna
Can
Maharaj.
you say your name?
My name is Rakesh, and
Rakesh.
such a pleasure to have you over here. Please accept our humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for encapsulating the benefits of Srimad Bhagavatam, soft heart and a strong mind. Maharaj, every temple has its journey, and I'm going to ask a question in regards to taking the temple to the new heights, and a lot of devotees are putting in a lot of hard yards. And Narottam Das Prabhuji has initiated this effort a few years ago, and the results are to be seen over here. But Maharaj, you've been very active in one of the areas where not many temples are active, which is preaching to the corporates, to the organizations which have a deep pocket, right, and they can assist with the mission. So what advice would you give for us to reach out to the corporates and continue to grow our mission to greater heights?
Thank you so much. We realize that spiritual knowledge is needed in every sphere of life. The young people need spiritual knowledge because they have their whole life ahead of them. The old people need spiritual knowledge because time is coming, time is ticking. But also the people who are busily engaged in this world, they also need spiritual knowledge because it's such a stressful life. So actually, Bhagavatam is for everyone in every sphere of life. If we understand the Bhagavatam deeply, then we will understand that the Bhagavatam contains everything that anyone in any situation of life could conceivably require to have a happy life. And so, even in the corporate world now, we're finding that the very things that corporate companies are struggling with are the very things that we can help them with. They're realizing that their employees are suffering from mental imbalance, well-being issues, conflicts, leadership crisis. And the Srimad Bhagavatam basically explains about how to navigate all of these things. So the first step in corporate preaching is that you have to first know the Bhagavatam. Then the second thing is you have to know the corporate world. What are their needs? What are their interests? What are their concerns? And then the third step is that you have to be able to present to them in a way that connects both of those two things together. So how to begin doing corporate preaching? Well, I'm guessing quite a few of you work in the corporate world. So the first thing is, if you have a Hindu network at your company, or if you have a well-being division, then just tell them, why don't we do a one-off session on meditation? Why don't we do a one-off session on how to have better culture? Why don't we do a one-off session on how to be a better leader? And you can invite a devotee to come and speak, and in that way, you know. Like yesterday we were at Tawako and they said Harivamsa Prabhu is coming to New Jersey. Is it Harivamsa Prabhu? Right. Now he's a pretty incredible profile. He was from IIT, then he did his PhD at Stanford, and then he worked for a company, or some $1 million startup or something, and then he basically retired to Vrindavan. So that's a good profile. So he's the type of person, when he's around this area, you could organize a program and say, the monk who went to Stanford or something, and do a program like that. So be dynamic, be bold, and just try and get one foot in there. And as you get one foot, then contacts will open up, and you never know who you'll meet. So yes, reach out. This is our temple, and we must put time and energy here and build the most beautiful community. But don't forget, there's a whole world out there. And they need you, and they need the knowledge that you have. So be dynamic. Just like Prabhupada didn't stay in Vrindavan. Prabhupada made the journey to the Lower East Side of New York, and he went into the center of the kingdom of Kali. So Prabhupada was not just looking for the comfortable life. So this is like Vrindavan, and of course we come here for inspiration, but we have to also remember there's a whole world out there. So go to the corporates, go to the universities, go to people who are of diverse backgrounds. Also, Krishna consciousness is not just for the Indians. Krishna consciousness is for everyone. And Srila Prabhupada made Krishna consciousness accessible for everyone. And therefore we have to open the doors to everyone. So like that, it's a great adventure. So, good luck. Okay, yes, someone else.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I am having one question in my mind, that Rupa Goswami Pad in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu told the steps of Bhakti, that is Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya, then Anartha Nivritti. So by the Bhajana Kriya our Anartha will be subsided. But I find in the Bhajan Rahasya of the Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he is telling not only 4 impediments in our Bhajan path, there is another subsection of the 4, and total 16 impediment is there in our Bhajan path. So how to remove that in a nutshell, if you please elucidate.
In a nutshell, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We cannot do it. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very kind. The holy name is very, very powerful. Nam no hi yavati shakti papa nirharane hare. Shastra says that the Shakti of Nam is so powerful that it can counteract more sinful activities than you can perform. Nama Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. The Nam is like Chintamani, it's like a touchstone. Therefore, there's only one opportunity, and that opportunity in Kali Yuga is to take shelter of the holy name of Krishna. The holy name of Krishna can remove our anarthas. So, therefore the Bhagavatam ends, Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. That only by the Sankirtan of the Nam will all the pap, all the sins be eradicated. So, but it's working, isn't it? You are not the same person you were 10 years ago. Am I right? Yes, you may look at your heart and say, I still have some envy, I still have some anger, I'm still not a pure devotee. Okay, but you cannot deny that you are a different person to who you were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, before Krishna consciousness. Before Krishna consciousness, we were envious and we didn't even realize it. But now at least when we feel some envy, we feel, no, I should not be like that. That means already you've advanced. Because at least you can see your anarthas. So when you're cleaning a room, it may look very clean, but when you start cleaning, all the dust comes to the surface first. And then you think, my God, I'm getting worse. It's getting worse here. No, it was already all there. Now you can see it. But it's good. Now you can see it, then you'll get rid of it. Therefore, be patient, take shelter of Nam, and realize that Anartha Nivritti doesn't actually stop at Anartha Nivritti. Because even when you get to Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhav, there are still Anarthas. The only place where Anarthas get annihilated completely is at Prema. And therefore, it takes time. It's a long journey. But the good news is that Katanchana Shmrite Yasmin Duskaram Sukharam Bhavet Vishmrite Viparitam Shat Sri Chaitanyam Namamitam. Even very difficult things become easy if you take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if you don't, even easy things will become difficult. Alright?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for a wonderful class like always. So Maharaj, my question is, you emphasize so much on soft heart, but this is my observation and I may be wrong, but soft heart you have, it means even you commit a single offense or single mistake, you go in a guilt trip for say a week, and then it affects your life gets hard. The heart is soft, life gets hard. I'm not worried about hard life, but hard life also sometimes leads to a poor mental health, which also leads to a poor bhakti or poor progress in your spiritual life. So what's your take on
No,
that?
therefore I said, soft heart, strong mind, both together. You should feel, when we commit an offense to someone, we should feel bad. When we make a mistake, we should feel bad. When we fall from the principles, we should feel bad. So that's good. But strong mind means we also understand I have to pick myself up and now I have to improve. And strong mind means I know what I need to do in order to improve and go forward from here. So if you only have a strong mind but you don't have a soft heart, then there's that not having any guilt is not good. We need to feel some guilt. But if you only have a soft heart and no strong mind, then the guilt overpowers you and debilitates you. Therefore, you need both side by side. You need to feel fallen, but hopeful. Fallen means soft heart, I realize that. But hopeful means strong mind. I know there's a way forward. Does it make sense?
Thank you.
All right.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your class. I have two questions. One was, what are the precautions that need to be taken care for devotees? As we have heard from Bhagavatam, like the devotees like Bharat Maharaj, Ajamil. So in general, for us,
What is the lesson from them?
how we need to be precautious not to get distracted in our devotion.
Yeah, the example of Bharat and Ajamiel and all of these stories remind us that Maya is an equal opportunities employer. Maya doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been in Krishna consciousness. It doesn't matter how learned you think you are. It doesn't matter how influential and popular you are. Maya can catch anyone. Therefore, Prabhupada said, my only complaint of my disciples is that they're not fearful enough of Maya. One devotee once came to me and he said, Prabhu, I went to the cinema and I didn't get affected. I said, you know, sometimes the seed goes in one place and the effect comes out somewhere else. Because we don't realize we do things every day. We're playing with the material energy. One time Prabhupada was in a zoo, so they were walking past one cage. So there was a nice little kind of lion cub there. Very nice, just looked like a cat. So the devotee went up and, you know, like, Gucci, Gucci. It looks very innocent, you know? Looks very innocent, Maya. Therefore, Maya has many tricks. Tricks of Maya. One trick of Maya is complacency. I'm okay, I'm doing good. Don't be too serious about Krishna. Like, you have to be balanced. Don't try and be a pure devotee too quickly. Relax. Some is okay. So complacency. Another trick of Maya is isolation. No, I can't relate to any of these devotees. I'll do it myself. No, I don't need to come to the temple. So what Maya does is it isolates you from devotees and then captures you. So that's another trick of Maya. Another trick of Maya is pride. Yes, I am there. No. The moment you think you're there. Premera svabhava yaha premera samban say mane Krishna mula nat prema gan. Abhiraj Goswami says the symptom of one who actually has prema is that they feel, I have no prema, I'm so far away, I need more mercy. Therefore pride is another trick of Maya. So like this, Maya has so many tricks. So many tricks. So we have to be aware, we have to be cautious. So I tell people, be Maya cautious and Krishna conscious. Some people are just Krishna conscious, but they're not Maya cautious. And some people are Maya cautious, but they're not Krishna conscious. Constantly in a, okay, don't worry, Krishna will protect you, but be aware. So, it's a very dangerous world. So we have to be careful. Many people come to the Krishna consciousness movement, but how many stay? Just look at the statistics. So, the amazing thing is, even the people that leave the Krishna consciousness movement, they can't actually leave. Once a devotee said to me, there's only two options. Be a happy devotee or a miserable devotee. But devotee you will have to be now. Because joining Krishna consciousness is like joining the mafia. You can't leave. Because you know too much now. You can't, even if you try to go out there and enjoy, you won't be able to. Because you can't see it in the same way anymore. You try as much as you want. You'll be thinking of Krishna again. But if you're not connected with devotees, then you'll feel miserable. You know? So anyway, like this. Is that okay?
Thank you, Maharaj. Following question is like, can you explain about the inner meaning of Krishna pastimes in terms of how we can get rid of anartha such as pride and envy in terms of Bhakti Vinod Thakur Chaitanya Sishtastakam?
Yeah, so in Chaitanya Shikshamrita, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is explaining that every demon in Vrindavan is representing a different anartha within the heart. So for example, Trinavarta. Trinavarta goes very, very high. But then Krishna pulls Trinavarta right down. So Trinavarta represents pride. Because one thinks they're so high, so much above everyone else. And then Krishna will pull you down. Krishna will humble you. Putana represents the false guru. The person who comes in your life and says, no, no, I will help you, I will help you. But actually is going to destroy your spiritual life. Therefore, you have to be very careful. Who do you accept guidance from? So like this, Bakasura represents duplicity. Because Bakasura is a stork, a bird. And Bakasura is like meditating, in the position of meditation. But it's said that Bakasura is only meditating on where it's going to get food. Therefore, it's said that Bakasura represents duplicity. Showing one thing to the world, but in your mind having something different. And therefore, when Krishna wants to kill Bakasura, then Krishna bifurcates by the beak. Because Bakasura represents duplicity. Kaliya represents cruelty. So like this. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he doesn't just tell you what each demon represents, but then in Chaitanya Shikshamrita he also explains what are the means to overcome these anarthas. Alright?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Alright, it's 10 past 9. One last question? Okay, yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming, Maharaj. My first question is regarding this soft heart and strong mind. So when you say soft heart, people usually tell that if you are having soft heart, you're very emotional, you're very sensitive. So, you know, like
It's a bad thing. So therefore I said soft heart but strong mind. See, like people, we need to have a soft heart, because if you don't have emotions, if you're not sensitive, how can you have a loving relationship with someone? Like the Bhagavatam says, Tadasmasaram hridayam batedam yadgriyamaner harinam adhyayai. If you chant the holy name of Krishna and tears are not falling from your eyes, if you chant the holy name of Krishna and your body is not shivering, if you chant the holy name of Krishna and your hairs are not standing on end, there's only one conclusion. You have a heart which has become steel framed. In other words, if you want to experience spiritual emotion, you can't do it with a hard heart. Therefore, we must have a soft heart, but strong mind, strong intelligence. You can have both. Like Srila Prabhupada had such a strong mind, such a strong intelligence. He could deal with any obstacle. But Srila Prabhupada also had such a soft heart. If you look, for example, when Prabhupada came and stayed with the Agarwals in Butler, then they had one son, his name was Bridge. He was just 2 or 3 years old. And there's a beautiful picture of Srila Prabhupada holding this boy's hand when this boy was walking for the first time. And Prabhupada, if you look at his face, he's like in ecstasy. And you think this is like Srila Prabhupada, he's in the spiritual world, he's beyond anything material, but he still has such a soft heart. Actually, Sally Agarwal says that Prabhupada was so kind to the young boy, Bridge, that Bridge used to call him Swami Jesus. He used to call Prabhupada Swami Jesus. He said even Prabhupada was so kind through his soft-heartedness that he even conquered my son's heart, who couldn't understand any of his philosophy. So when Uddhav went to the Yamuna and met Vidura, Vidura just asked Uddhav one question. Can you tell me something about Krishna? And as soon as he said the word Krishna, he said that Uddhav began crying and he couldn't stop for one muhurta, 48 minutes, just by hearing the name Krishna. But we are very hard-hearted, therefore we hear Krishna all the time, but we are not reacting in that way. Therefore, if you want to taste rasa, see, ras. If I say ras, what's the first thing you think of?
Juice.
Juice. Which type of juice?
Sweet nectar.
Sweet nectar. Yeah, you normally think of mango juice. So the word ras means liquid mellow. That's what ras means. So the ultimate ras is the liquid mellow of love within the soft heart. But to taste that liquid mellow of love, you have to have soft heart. So this world makes us very hard-hearted because people exploit us, then we become very close, become very hard. You can't experience life like that.
Yeah, adding to that, how to deal with people, not only with the world, with the family also, people who are very much strong-hearted. So when you play a role of a daughter, when you play a role of a mother, a daughter-in-law, everything, So not only that, in perspective of every role, every individual.
The mother-in-law. It's hard navigating all these relationships, and then we think if I'm just soft, then people will walk all over me and this and that. So yeah, you have to be assertive. Arjun was soft-hearted, but when he was fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was like a lion. But then on the 10th day, when his son Abhimanyu was captured by the Chakravyuha, then Arjun went to that place and he cried. So he could cry also, and he could also fight. So you have to learn that art of how to be assertive, how to address things practically, but how to not become insensitive and impersonal. Abraham Lincoln, he's your man, he's president. He said, I kill all of my enemies by making them my friends. I kill my enemies by making them my friends. So, you may think it's impractical, but with your soft heart, you may be able to even conquer those who are hard-hearted. Don't go down to their level and try to fight them there. Rather, stay where you are and try to bring them up. All right?
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, I don't
Yes,
have
a little
one question.
closer. Just,
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any questions, but I just feel like I want to share this.
Yes, please.
Because you also mentioned the strong mind and the soft heart. I really related to it very much. And also, Ladaji also asked, what if we encounter somebody who hurts us?
Right.
And then I think or feel like even the world or anybody in the world hurts us or does any injustice to us, we still have to love them. We still love them. And with that love, we can reach to a stage where we love the world. We don't care what
You don't
other
see
people.
friends and enemies.
We don't care if he or she is a good person or bad person. We don't care if they hurt us or don't care about us. We still love them. And with that love, we're gonna be so happy in this world because we love the whole world.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, such a great point. Yeah, we have to get to that point where never let someone else's maya become your maya. Like, it's okay, like everyone's going through what they're going through. Don't take it so personally. the people who are like that are often suffering in their own life. So don't take it personally. You just try to help them. And if it's too much, then keep a distance for the time being. Give yourself some breathing space, and then help them. But thank you for sharing. Very nice. All right, so I think you have to go to work. For Swami's, Monday is like our day off. Because we have like busy weekends, so Monday is like our. And for all of you, I think it's the busy day, right? Is it? Yeah. You're not going to school. Day off.
They bunk
Okay.
school. They both
You
bunk
owe me
from-
one, huh? Did you get day off because of me?
Summer vacation.
Oh, summer vacation already?
But still they have summer
Already,
school, they
no?
bunk for your class, both of them.
Oh, okay.
They're in the same school.
All right, you guys owe me one. I got you a day of school. All right, well, enjoy your summer. And really nice to be here with all of you. I hope we'll connect again. Did we do an online session together? Was that with all of you?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, that was with you. Okay. Sorry, I can't even keep track sometimes. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So nice to be with you in person. Wishing you the best. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.